to provide a higher standard of care. It's been my goal for 20 years, and it always will be. If you're an experienced caregiver with that same passion, join the brand that supports you most.
Should Viagra really cost $90? We don't think so. RexMD.com has FDA-approved generic Viagra at 90% off. Just fill out a brief survey. If appropriate, you can try generic Viagra for 90% off and get a free supply of testosterone support. Visit RexMD.com.
Over 5 million people have fallen in love with affordable Blender. Blender 250 ice captain.
Business kept unemployed through the pandemic. GetRefunds.com can see if it may qualify for a payroll tax refund of up to $26,000 per employee, even if it receives PPP. It all takes 8 minutes to get started. Then we'll work with you to fill out your forms and submit the application. That easy. If your business doesn't get paid, we don't get paid. GetRefunds.com has helped businesses like yours claim over $2 billion, but it's only available for a limited time. Go to GetRefunds.com, powered by Innovation Refunds.
A heart attack? Do they have life insurance?
No.
But we have life insurance. John.
I'm trying to find something we can afford.
Fortunately, in only a few minutes, Select Book found John a $500,000 policy for only $29 a month. And his wife,
Ousting Minnesota Congressman Ilhan Omar from the House Foreign Affairs Committee over past anti-Semitic remarks, but she will stay on her other committees. Democrats accusing Republicans of racism and hypocrisy, claiming the GOP are policing Democrats for questionable past behavior. Pennsylvania Congressman and member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee, Scott Perry, is going to be with us to comment on that in just a little bit. Good morning to you at home. Thanks so much for waking up with us here. Happy Friday. We made it. It's Friday morning, February the 3rd. I'm Rob Finnerty. We start this morning in Washington, where the Senate Intel Committee demanding immediate compliance over the handling of classified documents by Mike Pence, Donald Trump, and the President of the United States. But the administration continuing to send the media
below zero. It's wind chill warnings from the state of Maine on exposed skin today, also going into tomorrow afternoon across much of New England. Two big steps out. That's why it's going to get so cold. Burlington, 23 degrees below zero air temperature. That's not the fancy wind chill value. That's the air temperature by Saturday morning. 6 New York, 13 Philadelphia. You get the deal. It's wicked cold up and down the I-95 stretch. For the wind chill, that's the big story with this let up. But Boston, man, that is going to be a cold statistic. We get to about 11 degrees below zero. Haven't seen that in over 60 years, Rob.
Yeah, Killington Mountain, by the way, that's like the biggest mountain east of the Mississippi. East to the east. You know, out west, Mammoth Mountain, California, they closed down this year for a day because they had too much snow. And this year, now mountains in the northeast are closing down because the temperatures are too cold. That's not what you expect at ski mountains, but that gives you an idea how bad it's been.
That's, you know, my mindset has always been, let's go skiing if it's going to get this cold and this snowy. But the problem with that, Rob, is that, you know, these ski lifts, a lot of them are not those, you know, closed-in ones. You're going to be on the actual chairlift. So it's a liability concern for these ski resorts. That's why they're saying, you know what, let's not even take the risk and close down for the day.
Good point. Thanks for breaking that down, Mike Maxwell. We'll do it again soon. Stay warm. Celebrities who've come to Newsmax's defense, like actor John Voight.
Fellow Americans, I come to you with only love and truths. Something that is missing from our chief in office. He's a liar, a cheat, a deceit. My friends, we all love truths and good news, and that's what Newsmax brought to us. We were able to rely on truths. Now the left are taking it down. So we, the people of America, should not be able to feel safe and see truths. Well, my friends, let us speak up now. Let us take our freedom of speech back. Our greatest asset in the land of the free. The freedom of one's right to be and to see the lies put upon this country. It's a disgrace. Glory for love. Let us remember the words of God's hopes. We the people.
Back, I can't believe you did that to so many viewers. Can't wait to cancel their service after what they did today. So excited. Just signed up for a different network. People are upset about this. You can imagine that. One day you've got this back. Yesterday, I tweeted out the John Voight video. Take our freedom of speech, like Sean Hannity. For more on this, let's welcome back in our team of experts. It's Fox News, although Newsmax and Fox are in far more households. But Newsmax, man, now is in 13 million fewer because of this censorship from DirecTV.
Yeah, and Kelly's exactly right that this certainly can be construed as Newsmax on every outlet. The outlets do have a certain amount of discretion and know well that Newsmax has a really strict cap, so I'm sure people are going to the app in ever greater numbers, and that, in fact, is where the public is going. Everybody's looking to watch on their devices, but we have a regime media, and that's the problem. And it has resulted in the kind of situation that we see today with the CCP setting a balloon over Montana, quite brazenly, because we have a regime installed in Washington that has been the tool of all of these influences, and it's in the corporate boardrooms, academia, entertainment, you name it.
Dan, I'll tell you what, if DirecTV did the same thing to CNN, I would joke about it, I would laugh about it, I would not support it. I want to move on now to what you just mentioned, Nan. Mark, the White House and the Pentagon facing some pretty serious questions this morning. Take a look at this at home if you're just joining us. Looks like a UFO. Matter of fact, when I first saw the video, I was like, oh boy, here we go. There it is. No, this is a high-altitude Chinese reconnaissance balloon flying at between 60 and 70,000 feet, slow-moving. There's one over Canadian airspace as well this morning. This one over the state of Montana, apparently flying near the area of Malmstrom Air Force Base, which is a major U.S. nuclear site. That is not a secret. Mark, how concerned are you about something this brazen from the Chinese?
Very, if the Pentagon is telling us that
Chinese are aggressive right now, and we need to take an aggressive action back.
Such a good point. Kelly, you bring up such a good point about our airspace. I guess I always had this notion that our airspace was impenetrable, okay? This thing's moving at like 6 miles an hour, and it's the size of 3 school buses. If this thing can drift over U.S. airspace, what about a fighter jet or a bomber carrying a nuke? Anybody a little more concerned with this right now? I'm stunned. We have to leave it there. Nan Hayworth, Kelly Sadler, Mark Halpert, have a great weekend. Really enjoyed the conversation this morning. Thank you. Christina, over to you.
Thanks, Rob. Well, if this doesn't tell you how bad the economy is with sky-high inflation and layoffs, then this next fact should. A record-breaking amount of Americans are tapping into their 401ks early, according to new data. So what does this mean for the future for those who are dipping in ahead of their retirement? Well, let's bring in business and markets analyst and Newsmax contributor Seth Benson. Good morning, Seth. So with all of the penalties, this did surprise me a little. Why are they doing this? Do people just need this money right now in order to scrape by?
Yeah, Christina, I think it's a lot. It's combining the current inflation rate. With a lot of people now are starting to lose their jobs. You've got significant interest rate increases. So for those that had variable debt, they have a higher level of expenditure. This is kind of becoming a perfect storm from an economic perspective. And I know we've been talking about recession and all the things that we talk about from an economic.
Putting their jobs, savings accounts were at their highest level in years. How did things change so fast?
Yeah, and you bring up a great point, Christina, because savings accounts have dropped. They've been cut in half as far as the amount that Americans have been saving just in a very short period of time. Is that we had what we called the quiet quitting era, right? And then we had the great resignation era. I'm calling this the great realization era, where Americans are finally realizing things aren't as rosy as maybe they were hearing from politicians or certain other news outlets trying to paint a picture or put lipstick on the pig, as I like to say. This is a challenging situation. I think that's what's happening now. And because of the sky-high inflation, it's happening fast. It's one thing for us to have an economic slowdown, people lose their jobs. When you're doing that coupled with significantly high inflation, it hits you very, very quickly.
And if you are someone who's saving for the future, can you talk a little bit about the repercussions of this? This is a hard decision to make. What does someone who may be considering this need to know about a hardship withdrawal for